What's going on, guys, and welcome back to GTA 5. The Finance and Felony update is here, and it brings two pretty awesome supercars to the game, including this, the Pegassi Reaper, or Pegassi Reaper, however you say it. A pretty awesome supercar. It's just a pretty awesome car, so I thought I would take it for a little bit of a drive. So let's go ahead and get into the car. It has quite a nice interior and also looks like a beast outside. Let's have a first of all listen of how it sounds. Alright, we've got some pretty nice flames coming out of the back there. Let's go and take this thing for a drive. So, if you cannot tell, it is basically from what I can tell, a Lykan Hypersport, a W Motors Lykan Hypersport, mixed with kind of a Lamborghini Huracan, I have to feel. It's the Lykan Hypersport from the front, and to me it looks like a Huracan from the back. It's a very nice car, it drives very well. Going down the highway here, it was very nice. I then decided to take the car into the city to see how it would cope with city driving. Now, there is no traffic around right now because I forgot to turn the traffic on. However, I wanted to see how it would kind of maneuver just around the city streets compared to the highway. Look, I even stopped at a stop sign. Yeah, this car is a lot of fun to drive. It's, you know, cars in GTA, they all drive pretty similarly, but it is a hell of a lot of fun, and especially when you get a bit of airtime. Oh my god, that was absolutely amazing. Let's try and drift this thing now. Oh god. I may have slightly cocked that up. So, how does this thing drift? Well, drifting in GTA is not the most amazing thing, however it does drift pretty nicely. You can kind of rip the handbrake and it gets around the corners fairly well. And I also wanted to see how this car would do in tight spaces. I came down this alleyway and realized it was quite tight, so I thought I'd try and drive through it, see if I could get through without smashing into the walls. And surprisingly, I actually did pretty well. This car is quite wide, not ridiculously wide, but it is a fairly wide car. However, I managed to get it through here without too many problems, and yeah, you know, good handling car, so no twitching or horribleness. I got it through pretty well. So all round, the Pegassi Reaper, however you want to say it, is a fantastic car. So like I said before, the Reaper has a rival in this update, and that is this, the Vapid FMJ. It's once again a pretty awesome supercar, a little bit lower down, this one, it looks like it to me anyway, and it's a pretty awesome car. So let's go get into it. Interior is very nice, slightly different to the Reaper, and have a listen to see how it sounds. Alright, we got some pretty nice flames going out the back there. Let's set off. We're going to go the other way out of the car park this time, just to be a little bit different. So, if you cannot tell, this car is basically, I think, based off a, it's kind of off a Ford GT mixed with the Bugatti Chiron, is it? Chiron? I think it's Chiron, I'm not 100% sure. But it's a pretty cool looking car. I quite like it. Personally, I think I prefer the looks of the Reaper a little bit more. However, it is still a very nice car. The handling is very similar to the Reaper. I mean, GTA handling is all fairly similar. But yeah, it was a nice car to drive, and it's very quick. Also, these pretty cool aerodynamic holes. And once again, we got some air, which is always a good thing. Airtime is always amazing. I also was just driving around, and I managed to find a tunnel, so I thought, you know what, let's drive through a tunnel, and it sounds pretty cool in the tunnel. I mean, don't all cars? So yeah, I was pretty impressed with the FMJ. Now I wanted to try and find a little bit of a place to go to see if this thing could go into small tight spaces. I ended up, however, just drifting it around a little bit, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. I actually think this car drifts a little bit better than the Reaper. I did once again managed to slightly cock up. But it was okay because I was now on my way down to a little bit of a tighter spot, which was the sort of place I was looking for originally. I found this little area here. I may have slightly found a dead end, and well, there was a wall in front of me, so that wasn't fantastic. So I had to find somewhere else. But yeah, this was quite nice. It was very easy to drive around. Don't mind me knocking over the sign there. I couldn't really find a really tight alleyway like I did with the Reaper, so I just kind of drove it around kind of the back of these shops and buildings, and it was pretty nice, you know. It wasn't too tight, so it wasn't too much to go crazy with. But yeah, the FMJ was a very nice car. I may have slightly pressed the wrong button here. I went to go rip the handbrake, missed the button, and I may have crashed into a petrol station. So after taking both these cars out for a little test drive, I put together a drag race between the two, the Reaper versus the FMJ. I would be driving the Reaper, while Tutor would be in the FMJ. Off the line, the FMJ did get a slightly better launch, and it stayed pretty similar through this whole thing. However, I think the FMJ, with that slightly better launch, did manage to get to the end just a little bit quicker. That means that the FMJ would win the drag race. The final challenge for these cars would be a little bit of a lap around a track that I found, starting off with the Reaper. So this is basically just a Rockstar created track that I found. Actually, no, I think it was actually a Rockstar verified track that someone else made. Can't remember what it was called, but pretty cool track. I thought it would be pretty nice to drive around, fairly short lap, and the Reaper was the first car I took out. Pretty good car, little bit slidey. The traction was not amazing with this car. You know, this track has a few kind of hilly sections like here, and it did get the rear wheel sliding a little bit throughout the course, which probably slowed it down a little bit. But the Reaper ended up doing a 44.912, which I felt was pretty decent. Next up was the Vapid FMJ, and exact same course and everything. I took both these cars. I did I think 3 laps around this track with both cars. Straight away, this car did feel a lot more grippy. It seemed to grip to the road a lot better, had better traction than the Reaper. I mean, acceleration, that was all pretty similar. However, we do know from the drag race that this is slightly faster than the Reaper, and also I think the brakes on this car may have been a little bit better. It did just all round seem to cope with the track a little bit better. It ended up doing a 44.378, which means the Vapid FMJ has won the race, and yeah, it was all round a pretty amazing car. So that is it for this video, guys. This was a lot of fun to do, to see which car would go faster. The winner overall then, I suppose, is the Vapid FMJ. I mean, it was a good handling car, it was fast, it ended up winning the drag race, and also won in the time trial event. So the FMJ is the fastest car. I'm not the biggest fan of the looks of the FMJ, however it is still pretty cool. The Pegassi Reaper, or however you want to say it, also an amazing car. I personally prefer the looks of this car over the FMJ, however, maybe not as good handling and not as fast in a straight line. However, it's still an amazing car. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Comment what other cars you would like to see go up against each other in GTA 5. I'll see you guys in the next video.